Hello and welcome in to episode 1 of Beyond the Boot, new podcast here at United 2. If you don't know what Beyond the Boot means, it's soccer. Alongside me, I'm Nico, my co-host, Conor Radford, Cody Burton, Richard Turkovich. Great to be here, as always. We plan on doing this weekly. We will cover mainly Premier League, but also Champions League whenever it does come up. And if there's international breaks, then who knows? But with that, we are going to look at these games that happened this week. We'll start off with the Saturday slate, and we'll start off with Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Liverpool got the win, 1-0. Great win.
Yeah, it was a great win at Anfield it wasn't at Anfield, actually. It was away. Rare that Liverpool don't play at Anfield. But Diogo Jota getting off of his chair and not playing FC 25 and actually bagging a goal for Liverpool out here. It was a great game. Obviously, Liverpool dominated possession, as always, 69%. But, yeah, I know you're looking at me over there. But, yeah, just another solid performance. And the Arne Slot ball has been amazing so far. They really haven't skipped a beat ever since the departure of Jurgen Klopp. Everyone thought that was going to be
one Premier League loss this season.
Yeah, everyone thought it was going to be a train wreck after that. They were like, oh, no, Klopp is gone. It's over. It's not. It's never going to be over. But nonetheless, great win for him here.
Yeah, Diogo Jota was able to score a goal in the 9th minute, and that's all Liverpool needed. Crystal Palace was trying to get something going. They had 4 yellow cards in a 4-minute span, with Arsenal legend Eddie Nketiah getting the last one of that bunch.
Oh, yeah.
And Liverpool's only given up 2 goals the entire season, and one of those being in that loss against Nottingham Forest and the other one against Wolves 2 weeks ago now. And Liverpool's just looked awesome even after the departure of Jurgen Klopp. They're at the top of the table, up one point on both Manchester City and Arsenal, and they look absolutely great.
Now, I am going to say this because it's pretty funny. The one game I watch of Liverpool when it's, I'm actually awake is the game they lost, by the way. But another big thing that came out of this game was Alisson Becker, his injury. Could be out for a while is what the speculation is. We don't really know much about that as far as the condition that he's in at the moment. But it's a good thing that was late in the game, so at least they got the win pretty much well in hand before that was an issue, because you hate to struggle without your star goalkeeper for a lengthy period of time. But literally any team, any team who loses a goalkeeper, it's going to be rough for Liverpool to replace Alisson Becker.
Yeah, and I believe it's their backup right now is Irish national goalkeeper Caoimhin Kelleher, right? Is that correct?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
The one that got subbed into the game was jeez, I'm
I
not going to attempt that first name.
I will try it. Vitislav Jaros?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I call him Jaros.
Oh, it was Jaros. I still can't get over Caoimhin Kelleher. Being from an Irish background, I gotta love to see him get the representation.
The Carabao Cup was his trophy.
Yeah, it was his trophy.
Yeah, but interesting thing that stuck out to me: 4 yellow cards for Crystal Palace in the span of around 5 minutes. Gotta love that, bringing the Sunday League to the Premier League. But moving on from that,
Brexit tackles.
Yeah,
love to see it.
I mean, you gotta love it. But next game we'll talk about 2 people's favorites: Arsenal, 3-1 win over Southampton. I'll let you guys take this one away, obviously.
Oh, hell, here we go. I woke up. I'm going to give you guys the story of my morning. I woke up at halftime. My girlfriend's next to me, and I pull out my phone, put on Peacock just to watch this game. Yes, you have to pay for Peacock to watch these games. It's horrible. But I get up. We're in the 54th minute, 53rd minute, and I see one Cameron Archer going down the right wing and taking on William Saliba, who has been one of the best center backs in the world as of late, and just slots it through for Southampton to go up 1-0. Instantly, put my phone down, and I get a tap on my shoulder. What's wrong? Southampton scored, and then didn't ask any more questions. But obviously, 3 minutes after that, 60 million down the drain, Kai Havertz scores again. Martinelli actually producing something other than speed for once. And Bukayo Saka, where do I begin? about Saka this year. He's got 7 assists on the year, 2 of them coming in this match, and 1 goal to cap off a great comeback win for this Arsenal side. And this Arsenal team is just so gritty.
Yes, they are. And like you've had these incredible defenders. Gabriel has scored plenty times this year, and he's just been. This is the best I've seen Gabriel play as an Arsenal player these first few months of the season. And that 55th minute goal by Cameron Archer was absolutely stunning. The second that went in, what immediately went through my mind was 2 years ago when Southampton beat Arsenal to pretty much wrap up the entire Premier League. It completely broke my heart. But Kai Havertz had an absolutely stunning goal, hit off the crossbar and went in. It was a beautiful shot, beautiful footwork by Kai Havertz. He's been absolutely incredible this year. And that cross by Saka on the Martinelli goal, oh my goodness, that was crazy. It was perfectly crossed in. It hit Martinelli pretty much directly at his feet, and all he had to do was tap it in, and he got it. And then Saka was able to put on a goal on his tally as well. And Saka, and going more on Saka, like everyone's been talking about how much Arsenal's set pieces have been like beneficial for this squad. That is all Bukayo Saka's doing. His crosses have always been crisp, and they've been going in. Gabriel's been able to get some headers in. He didn't get one this week, but he's always working, always looking to get a shot on goal. And all of his crosses have been perfect this year, and it's been beautiful to see.
Yeah, and obviously with Mikel Arteta at the helm, you got to go and look at the starting 11 and be like, oh, hell, what's he experimenting with this week? Thomas Partey at right back. I saw that in the lineup, and I said, I'm not watching this game. I really don't want to see another science experiment. But like you were saying about the set pieces, everyone in this team is so crucial to those set pieces, especially Bukayo Saka. But like you were saying about set pieces, earlier in the week, he scored a wonderful free kick against PSG in the Champions League. Not very often you see us beat teams like PSG in the Champions League, but it's great to see. This team they all mesh together so well. Declan Rice has been great with the crosses as well. Calafiori has been one of the signings of the season so far. He's been amazing. And getting David Raya on that permanent deal, I was skeptical last year. I'm a big Aaron Ramsdale guy, but he is paying dividends.
Aaron Ramsdale, the Southampton goalkeeper for this match as well. Like,
yeah,
he was probably talking some trash whenever that first goal went in, and he was immediately shut up probably.
Yeah, honestly. But this team is so deep. There's so many players in this squad. It's nothing like Chelsea, though. But the bench impact subs are great. Obviously, start Leandro Trossard, please. He deserves it. He's on his day. He's the best player in the squad, and there's nothing to say. There's nothing else to say about it.
I got nothing. I think you guys covered all of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I will say Cameron Archer, he did come on in the 27th minute, first half substitution for Southampton, ended up scoring that goal that made you turn your phone off, Connor.
Yes, I did.
But then after, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka round out the win for the Gunners.
Spectacular comeback.
A very good comeback, yes. Next up, though, we got a lot of scoring here.
High-scoring affair.
Brentford against Wolves. And Brentford wins this one 5-3. It was 4-2 at halftime. Goal scored by Nathan Collins, Brian Uembo on a penalty, Christian Norgard, Ethan Pinnock, and Fabio Carvalho for Brentford. And for Wolves, Matthias Cunha, Jorgen Strand Larsen, and Ryan Alt-Nori for Wolves.
Yeah. And this Wolves team has been absolutely dreadful this season. They haven't registered a win yet this season. They're I believe it's 1 draw and 6 losses already. It's not looking good for them. But it's interesting to think about the fact that Brentford scored 5 goals without the majority of possession. That speaks numbers about this Wolves team. But obviously, Brian Bumo has been the second highest leading goal scorer in the Premier League so far this year. This Brentford team, pretty mid, honestly. They're actually the definition of mid. They're 11th in the table, just sneaking into the bottom half. But this Brentford team always is good at pulling out those results. Obviously, Ivan Toney last year was a bit of a setback for this Brentford squad, but bringing in guys like Fabio Carvalho and keeping your guys like Christian Norgard in this squad. Ethan Pinnock has been great. Nathan Collins as well. All those guys scoring goals in this game. But I don't even think it's much to say that Brentford should be talked about highly because of this game. It should be Wolves should be talked about poorly.
Yeah, Brentford have been consistently like in the middle of the pack in the Premier League ever since they've kind of just appeared up on the top. And the Wolves have been near the bottom. They've consistently been in that, for the past few years, they've been consistently been in that range of like 15 to 17. And you just have to wonder, how long is this going to last before they end up being relegated to the championships? Like, they have guys like Mateus Cunha, who I thought would have been an incredible signing. He's been all right so far, but I didn't want to see a little bit more goal scoring. He got one this week, and I was really high on him whenever he reached and joined Wolves on that loan to buy deal, and they immediately after the first game against Liverpool, they immediately bought him on that to buy deal, and I just don't know how long Wolves can really stay up. This might be the year they actually fall down. Like, you see teams like Everton also like struggle in that range. They always find a way to survive. I just don't know if the Wolves can really survive this year.
Well, for Brentford, I mean, you have a very talented player in Fabio Carvalho, and I think that's a big reason why they were up so much. He might not have had all 5 goals. He had only the one at the very end of the game, 90th minute. But I think that's a very talented football player. Liverpool at one point was looking into signing him. That never happened. But he's a very talented guy, and you could see Brentford climbing the table if they continue to sign people like that, which, I mean, that would be interesting to see, just because I remember when Brentford finally came back up to the Premiership. That feels like just yesterday. That was, I don't know what year that was, but I remember when they just came up to the Premiership, and you can just see the progress that they've made. I mean, they're already a mid-table team. You think, Champions League not out of the question very soon for them.
Yeah, and obviously this Brentford team has been through a lot. They obviously lost their number 1 between the sticks to Arsenal and David Raya, but on the back line, they signed 2 guys from Liverpool, obviously one of them being Fabio Carvalho, but Sepp Vandenberg from Liverpool's youth academy has been phenomenal for them so far this year. Obviously, Christopher Ayer has been great too, but Flecken between the sticks has been great for them to start the year. Obviously, like I said, they don't have a great stature in the league so far. They're obviously bottom table, but they're just barely bottom table. And going off of what we were talking about before with the Crystal Palace game, when you lose good players, you usually tend to take a bit of a regression. Obviously, Palace lost their main man in Michael Olise, but this Brentford team sustained a big loss, which is you can't lose your star goalkeeper and stay the same. They've stayed the same so far. So we all thought it was going to be a bit rocky, but they've been kind of rolling.
Yeah. And don't forget, you get that cash from getting rid of your goalkeeper, and you can spend that elsewhere. And if you're fine in that position, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can upgrade somewhere else where maybe you need something, I'm not sure really what they would need, but
yeah.
Get some depth. But, Connor, you guys were talking about, bottom of the league. One team that I'm surprised stayed up in the Premier League, Leicester City. They got themselves a nice win against Bournemouth, 1-0. Pretty solid win. I mean, I'd say a pretty boring game, but a win's a win.
Yeah, and obviously, my Gunners had a very big scare against Leicester a few weeks back. James Justin, who had an assist in this game to Brighton's former center attacking mid, Facundo Buonanotte. James Justin has been the driving force for this Leicester team. Obviously, everyone loves a good Jamie Vardy, but James Justin has been the main engine of their offense coming out of the back line. And it's really funny to see how this game played out because Bournemouth outshot Leicester 19-6. They outpossessed them. And it just goes to show you, when you get your opportunities, you have to take them and you have to make them. And this Bournemouth team obviously making a few new signings in the offseason. They brought in Evan Nilsson from Porto. They brought in Kepa Arrizabalaga, which is weird to see him not in a Chelsea kit or a Real Madrid kit. But this Bournemouth team has been very, very interesting to watch so far this year. They are obviously still above Leicester in the table at 13, but Bournemouth have been a bit of a disappointment so far, and it's not too much of a stretch to say that.
Yeah, Bournemouth sold Donovan Solanke to Tottenham in the summer, and you can sometimes see like the lack of that incredible like the solid scorer that Solanke was consistently for them. And for Leicester, you have James Justin, who scored 2 goals against Arsenal, scored a brace. He gave Arsenal a complete shock, and then he's had another assist today to Boyonate, who's a very good young player, that's a 19-year-old player for this Leicester City side, who's on loan from Brighton currently. And you just see these middle table teams that are trying to stay up, and Leicester's trying to resurrect itself after going down, trying to reach that high of that Premier League title from just almost 10 years ago now. And you're just looking for that once again.
And one thing I thought was interesting, Bournemouth outpossessing Leicester, because whenever Liverpool played Bournemouth earlier this season, it seemed more like they were better on the counterattack than they were in possession. And I thought that was a really odd... it just seems like a very odd thing that they had the majority of the possession and still lost the game. Because on the counterattack, it seems like Bournemouth was wicked earlier in the year. And you just wonder, if maybe you like to say that whenever you have more possession, you're going to get more chances. But you think maybe they were possessing the ball, knocking it around, playing pitter-patter with it and never really got any crazy good chances. But, I mean, they outshot them too, so you can't even say that's the case. I just think, honestly, in this one, it was just a lack of finishing.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of is what it comes down to at that point. You got to take your shots and put them in the back of the net. One team that does that very well, Manchester City, they picked up a win against Fulham 3-2. Mateo Kovacic scoring a brace and Jeremy Doku scoring the winner for Man City. Overall, very good game for the reigning champs. Obviously, favorites this year in pretty much every championship. Whatever they compete in, they're going to be favorites.
I hate City, man. It's horrible.
I think everybody does.
Yeah. How do they keep doing it? It's just I don't understand it.
Well, when they get moved down to the championship, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm really hoping. But, they have it coming. Hopefully they get what they deserve soon. But an unlikely score in this game, a brace for Mateo Kovacic. Why do they keep spawning in great midfielders? I don't understand it. Obviously,
got to look at the manager.
Yeah, I was texting my dad about it, and obviously my dad's a huge United fan, and I said, "Oh no, Rodri's out for the year. What are they going to do?" And as I sent the text, I was like, "I already know what they're going to do. They're going to find somebody, and they're not going to miss a beat." Yep, John Stones playing center defensive mid. Yep, whatever. It always works. I don't understand how Pep does it, but he does it. It makes absolutely no sense. And what a bad season so far, I will say, from Phil Foden. What has happened to him? It seems like he's getting phased out of the squad is what it looks like. But Jack Grealish taking over his role and Jeremy Doku getting the game-winning goal in the 82nd minute. Fulham has taken about 90% of Arsenal's youth academy so far. Obviously, they've got Reece Nelson in the squad now, Emile Smith-Rowe. Bernd Leno, who was not part of our youth academy, but was sadly a starting keeper for us. But it sucks. It really sucks to see City pull these results out.
Yeah, like you have Kovacic having a brace that it was tied 1-1 at half, and then Kovacic comes out 47th minute, immediately gives City the league, and then Doku is able to put the game away in the 82nd, even though Muniz with a 88-minute goal with an assist from the man himself, Reece Nelson, and to make it 3-2 to make the score a little bit better and maybe give Fulham fans a little bit of hope, a little bit of unanswered hope maybe. And like you look at this City side, like they lost Rodri, and someone who contends for the Ballon d'Or consistently, one of the best midfielders of all time maybe. And they still have Kovacic, they still have Gundogan, you still have Bernardo Silva in attack, and then off the substitutes you have John Stones, who can play pretty much anywhere at this point. You have Matheus Nunes, who they got a couple of years, like a year or so ago from
Henderson
Wolves.
still in goal.
Ederson's still there. He'll always be there, I guess.
Yeah.
But you just see all these players on City. They constantly get more guys. They buy more guys, and they just win. That's what Pep does. He wins.
Well, that's why they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Should we get into that for people who don't know?
We won't get into it too much, but I mean,
They're in trouble, spending
yeah,
too much money.
Financial fair play. It's the same kind of thing that happened around 15 or so years ago with Juventus and Inter Milan. I won't comment on my opinions on that because you all know I'm a Juve fan. But I will say, if you are breaching financial fair play, there has to be some kind of punishment. And the fact that there has been almost no punishment for Man City so far is a bit disappointing. But, I mean, who knows when it's going to come, if it's going to come.
And they continue to buy incredible players and pull out results.
I love all the memes that come out, and it's like, oh, City just breached financial fair play again, minus 10 points to Everton. And it's just like, teams like Everton get one breach, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do that to you, but not the team with 122 of them. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's. I think honestly, it really comes down to what team brings in money, and Man City brings in a whole lot of money.
And City doesn't even have that many fans within their city.
No.
Yeah,
All their fans are
They're
international fans.
They're all Americans.
They have oil.
All of them.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll get
Not
into a
true.
team. We'll get into a team that has oil money later.
Newcastle.
I've been a fan for many years.
And I think another thing about Man City is I don't think you should be allowed to be owned by an entire country. They're essentially owned by a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Pretty
a couple
much.
teams. But nonetheless, moving on. West Ham beat Ipswich 4-1, the final score. Michael Antonio opened up the scoring, and it just kept on going from there. Very good win for the Hammers, and they're looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, and obviously David Moyes ball in full effect here. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is about the most David Moyes player I've ever seen. Get him out of United and he'll do great things for you, and that's it's a thing of beauty to see because you get a lot of players out of United and they do so many good things, but yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been great so far for West Ham. Obviously, one of the guys that they thought they were going to lose this year was Lucas Paqueta, but he obviously stayed. Thomas Souček rounding out that midfield with him. And what I think was their best signing in probably a decade or years has been Mohamed Kudus. He's been absolutely incredible. He almost won Arsenal the Premier League last year. Emphasis on almost. But this West Ham team is rolling, and I mean, you kind of have to against Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich Town was coming off 4 straight draws going into this match. They've been that gritty team that you saw from Luton Town last year, maybe, that like comes up kind of as a shock. Like only 2 years ago, Ipswich was in the League One, and then they jumped 2 in a span of a year. And you have West Ham, who lost Declan Rice, obviously to Arsenal, and then they were able to get Mohamed Kudus and keep Lucas Paqueta, who may have only been able to be kept because he had a little bit of trouble with some gambling issues and whatnot. But Lucas Paqueta's still on the squad. He got a goal. Mohamed Kudus got a goal, and they've just been solid. They've been in the midfield, and they've been decent.
Another thing is a team that jumps leagues like that, which we've seen before, usually does not end well for them when they get to the Premier League because you have these players that have maybe played out of their mind for the last 2 years. And then you get to the Premier League and it's like those same players are not going to be at the same level in the Premier League than a different league.
Don't worry about why I just paused there. Conor was doing something with the table.
No, I wasn't.
I thought the building was about to come down.
No, there's a metal piece under our
yeah.
mics. It makes a little noise when you move it. I was wondering why it was so like lopsided. Yeah, but let's. Why are you looking at me like that?
Anyway, as I was saying.
Yeah, I do want to continue off your point though of the teams that come up into the league and just don't work out. There's only 2 examples that I can think of teams that have come up and shown their worth, and that's Brighton and Aston Villa.
Yep.
Those are the only teams in recent memory that I can think of. The rest of them have just been subpar, and they've either gotten relegated the year they went up or the year after that.
And it's just because sometimes whenever you get promoted that quickly, you don't have the players. You don't have the funds either. Because if you've made it to that point, you've made some serious financial contributions to get the players that got you here in
Yeah.
the first place. And you can't just sell the whole roster and then rebuild in one off season.
Yeah, that's
Like one summer, that's not possible.
yeah, that's not doable at all.
So, maybe best thing for them is probably to go back down, reassess, maybe sell some guys for maybe a little more than people are willing to pay for them, hopefully. And then you reinvest that and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the final match in the Saturday slate, it was Everton-Newcastle, and me being the Newcastle fan, I will just say possibly one of the worst penalties I've ever seen from Anthony Gordon. I think a 12-year-old could have saved that one.
Yeah.
That was pitiful. They ended up drawing, so shout out Newcastle, love them. But man, that was a painful one.
Seems like Everton always got these 0-0 draws.
They're a gritty team.
But
Yeah.
And usually they're games that are at like 7:30. Because I remember pretty vividly, Liverpool played Everton. I got up 7:30 kickoff, went to watch it. It was a 0-0 draw, and I cannot express how angry I was after the game was over.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys follow the goats of Premier League sports media, Men in Blazers. One of
fantastic lads.
Yes, one of them is an Everton fan, and I always see their tweets on my feed of them just bored out of their minds watching Everton play. It's so boring. It's so slow. Because when you have Mangala and Abdoulaye Doucouré in your midfield, you're not going to get much production out of that.
But it seems like they're in this weird position, too, where it's like they're not bad enough to get relegated, but they're not good enough to go anywhere. So
Yeah.
they just kind of float.
Yeah, and obviously when you're employing two of the oldest players I've ever seen in Michael Keane and Ashley Young, what do you expect? You shouldn't really expect anything else. Obviously, if you have Jack Harrison running your right wing role, you're doing something wrong. The only person in this team that I can really think of as explosive, not even Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it's Dwight McNeil, and he's being held down to that 10 role. I don't understand what they're doing, and it's...
Oh, not to mention they keep firing managers.
Yeah.
They keep sacking managers left and right.
Yeah, I remember the Frank Lampard era. Oh, that was incredible.
But when are they going to realize that the manager's not the issue?
It's not. I don't even think it's like the culture or anything. Everton's like a very storied program. I'm thinking college football. I've been talking college football all week, but it's one of those storied clubs where you think of they've got so much history behind them. They're one of the Premier League's big names, not even necessarily because they're so dominant in the Premier League.
They were the first team to play at Anfield.
Yeah.
Before Liverpool.
Yeah, and it's the Scouse rivalry there. It's Merseyside, right?
Merseyside, yeah.
Yeah, but this Everton team is honestly kind of painful to watch. And I want to hear Nico's thoughts about Anthony Gordon playing up top.
I see him more as a winger. I mean, he's good on the attack, but having him as the central striker, I don't entirely agree with.
Yeah, and especially when you have your old buddy in the left center mid role, Joe Linton, who can't score a goal to save his life.
You know what? He'll score one screamer a month.
Oh, he's
That's
like
what he'll
Darwin
do.
Nunez.
You need to sign Ivan Toney and get Bet FC going, so you can have him and Tonali in there.
Sandro Tonali, AC Milan legend.
Yeah, Prize Picks FC, pretty much. We do not condone gambling here at U92 The Moose.
No, we don't. You
Sandro Tonali might do, though.
He probably does, but I mean, you want to talk oil money? Here's your team.
Yeah. And poaching Avi Bonds and Jacob Murphy. This team it looks really good on paper. Obviously, Fabian Schär and Dan Burn are two towering center backs. They're really good on their day, but he's so much worse than he was last year. I don't know what happened to Nick Pope. I mean, you would probably know better than I would.
He got injured for a long while, and Dubravka was the backup, and I think the third string was Karius, actually.
Oh, Liverpool legend Lars Karius.
Yeah. Champions League legend Lars Karius.
I know you're smiling
sorry,
over there
Richard.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously, somebody I forgot to mention in that Newcastle backline was Sven Botman, correct?
What a
I
name.
think he's been hurt recently.
Yeah.
So Dan Burn normally would run left back, But they're putting Lewis Hall in there. Trippier has been on and off the bench. One player that I'd like to see play more, Miguel Almiron. Big fan of him.
Yeah.
But he's a bit old. He's a bit unk. You know. But I like Newcastle's team. Would I wish they'd, play better? Yes. Would I wish they'd use Alexander Isak every time they play? Yes. But, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
I just got to call him. Yeah, ask him to be the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie Hall.
You never know. You never know. These clubs sometimes get a little desperate. I mean, Ted Lasso.
Honestly.
They should see my FIFA 16 rebuilds. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was a different animal.
Yeah,
For real.
Nico, someone I'd love to see play in this Newcastle team more. You poached him from Southampton. You really screwed their back line with it. Tino Livramento.
Oh, dude, he's good.
He's really
He's
good.
very good.
He's like the anti-Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's really good at running. He's Trent. He's like a little B-Tech version of Trent.
He kind of swaps out a lot with Trippier in that right back position. But I've loved how he's played recently. Lewis Hall, I think, has played great. Dan Burn, he's like 6'7". He might have picked the wrong sport, but
Well, they keep trying to play Trent in midfield sometimes. Like at the end of last season.
shout out Gareth Southgate.
It was like...
I feel like he's more of a midfielder sometimes.
But I feel like the reason why he's so good at being as like a left back is because he has time to make decisions. When you're in the midfield, you have way less time to make your decisions, and I feel like that hinders his ability sometimes. But I digress.
Yeah. With that, we're going to hit the 3 Sunday games.
Oh, this was a wild day of football.
Yeah, starting off with Aston Villa against Man United. Obviously, a good friend of our, Lance, he was supposed to be on, but he's studying, being an academic weapon as always. He is a United fan, I believe. Tied with Villa, and once again, a pretty boring game.
Makes me smile.
Oh, it's kind of painful to watch United now. They've been so good in history. Obviously, this is nowhere near a Sir Alex Ferguson team, but it's just not good enough. And I think any United fan could agree that it's not good enough. Honestly, I really wish Lance was here so I could ask him if he feels like Marcus Rashford should be sold. It's the only thing that's, for me, the only thing that's keeping him there is that he was an academy player. And everyone loves him because he was an academy player. But I don't get it. The center halves, I really don't understand why Matthijs de Ligt is not starting against a Champions League team in Villa. It makes no sense to me.
And, I will talk a little bit about Matthijs de Ligt. Possibly one of the best center backs I've ever seen play for Juve. I mean, he played amazing in the couple of years or so he was there. And now he's just hanging around. I mean, it's a shame. It really is.
And people were complaining about Ten Hag, and I don't think Ten Hag's the massive issue. And then you got people complaining about the owners, too. But I also think that it's just the culture of the team has just gone down the toilet.
Glazer's out. By the way, Glazer's out.
Yeah.
But we seeing this team, it's just not it's Ajax FC. They just bring in the old Ajax players. Obviously, they're nowhere near 2019 Ajax level. If you know, they got cheated. But this obviously Ten Hag is going to have his favorites in the squad, and Onana's one of them. Onana has been poor recently. I don't think that's going to last. I really think Bayindir should start for United. He should get a few games. Some days it looks like he's head and shoulders above Onana, but when you've got players in your team like Antony playing like valuable minutes for your team, why? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And your center back pairing, obviously I'll get into the midfield and the discipline of this team. Obviously, Bruno, nice 2 red cards, buddy. But Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire.
Maguire.
As your 2 starting center halves.
What a guy.
Slabhead.
Just,
Slabhead.
Oh, my goodness.
Harry Maguire always is there. He'll forever be. It's just Harry Maguire's there.
I mean, like, why not play other people? Why not put de Ligt in to start?
Sometimes I think
Lisandro Martinez.
Sometimes I think Harry Maguire just is there to fill the pitch.
Yeah.
I'm being so serious.
I mean, he fills at least a good fifth of it with his forehead.
Yeah. That's fair enough. But looking at this game specifically, obviously I'll get into Villa in a sec, but I'm going to go with 2 good performances for United. I think Nasir Mazraoui has been incredible for United so far. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a much bigger loss than people think for United. He was their defensive engine. He was so good. He was one of the best tacklers at the right back position I think I've ever seen. Obviously, other than like a Philip Lahm, other than them. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is up there with like sheer tackling ability. He is a wall. But bad performance for this game would be Kobbie Mainoo. He did not look like himself. Obviously, he got a yellow and got subbed off for Casemiro. But why? I don't understand it. And I know everyone's saying that United has a new sideshow Bob. Obviously, that was Marwan Fellaini at one point, but now it's Joshua Zirkzee, and he's just as big and just as dumb. But Rasmus Højlund, why are you not playing all 90 minutes? He's the best player on the pitch for them at a consistent basis. I don't understand why he doesn't play more.
Yeah, going to Aston Villa, ever since Unai Emery took over, they've consistently gotten better. They were able to qualify for Champions League last season, and they've just looked absolutely like they've been good again this year. They're currently sitting at 5th place in the Premier League. They have Ollie Watkins and John Duran that both have 4 goals apiece, look absolutely incredible in the attack, and the team in general has just looked good. They have Matty Cash, who's been a solid defender. Yuri Tielemans, who they got from Leicester City, has been great for them. And I just feel like Aston Villa is just going to be consistently near the top of the league for the foreseeable future.
But it also brings into question Ten Hag. How do you overlook this team?
Yeah.
Last season they finished 4th. That's a good team. I don't care if you're, and then the disrespect from Ten Hag to put just subpar players on the pitch in the starting 11 for that. It's just like, what are you doing? It doesn't make much sense to me, and I feel like it might be time for United fans to hit the panic button.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been that time for a long time.
It has been, honestly, since the start of Ten Hag's tenure, but
I don't necessarily think he's a bad manager either.
He's not. He's just not. He's not up to the job of United. You have to be a certain kind of person. Obviously, like you have to have like a Jose Mourinho type personality. You have to be able to defend yourself in the media, and he just can't. He's a pushover. But this Villa team is so strong. Obviously, opposite of United, their center back pairing is monstrous. They have Ezri Konsa and Pau Torres, who signed, I believe, from Valencia in the summer, or was it? Villarreal. It was Villarreal. Cannot for the life of me distinct those two. But Luca Digne has been a great signing for them as well. Obviously, they're still trotting out the corpse of Ross Barkley. But, yeah, this team is great. John Duran has been showing his class in the Champions League. He has scored, I believe, 3 substitution goals in the last 3 matches in the Champions League for Villa. But Unai Emery, obviously former Arsenal manager, and Emi Martinez, obviously former Arsenal starting keeper. I loved Emi Martinez when he was at Arsenal. I loved him at Argentina. I hate him now. He's such a personality, and I just hate those personalities. I don't get it. Other than Ramsdale, I love Iron Ramsdale.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like with United, if you're not going to put out your best players every single time you go out on the pitch to try and win a game, then what's the point?
Yeah, like, are you even trying to
exactly?
Win,
are you trying? Because currently, Manchester United is 14th in the table.
Which never thought I would see a day that happened.
No, I mean, when was the last time Manchester United got relegated? I genuinely couldn't.
Never. I don't think they've ever gotten relegated.
I think it's United and Arsenal are the only teams who've never been relegated.
Yep. They've been up for so long, and currently they are. I mean, you're looking at it, 5 points above the drop.
Oh, yeah, having a great season, 2 points above Leicester. Great job out there.
I mean, you're tied with Bournemouth right now.
Now,
Bournemouth are above them.
As a football fan, it breaks my heart. But as a Liverpool fan, I got a big old grin on my face.
Yeah.
I hope they get relegated. That'd be great.
It would be something.
Yeah,
but see, then the only problem is you wouldn't get to play them.
Yeah,
and that would hurt a little bit.
That was my sit with Chelsea over the last 2 years. It was so funny just to see them struggle, and obviously we'll get into Chelsea after this.
Of course we will.
Yes, I love it. But yeah,
if they could finish 16th, that'd be perfect.
7. I'd go 17. That'd be so great. 1 above the drop zone, so everyone leaves.
No, make them sweat it on the last day. They got to score a last-minute goal to stay up.
Aguero.
What about some Troy Deeney action? You know,
Knockout takes, El Nunez saves.
Here's Hogg, Deeney. Anyways, Chelsea tied with Nottingham Forest. I mean, I really could not tell you what's going on with Chelsea. They have been a mess.
I do.
For a very long time.
I have some words about Chelsea.
Yeah,
You've bought a bunch of individuals and you haven't bought a team.
exactly.
Real.
That's what they've done.
I mean, you really look at it. I'd say their best player is probably Cole Palmer.
Without a shadow
Yeah.
of a
Yeah,
doubt.
definitely.
And look at how much money they've spent.
A lot.
That's sad.
Way too much.
Financial fair play. Where's the alarm here?
Yeah,
But
I have no idea where it is.
Yeah.
The amount of money that Chelsea spent, and like I said, they bought a bunch of really good, individually talented people. They do not mesh at all.
no, they don't. And I love seeing Nicholas Jackson strut out onto a football pitch. It's great. It makes my day because he's a horrible striker. Put Cole Palmer up top. Put him at the 9. He's so much better at the 9. And thank you. I would like to give a personal thank you to Todd Bowley for taking Mykhailo Mudryk off of our hands. Thank you for wasting £100 million so we didn't have to. Thank you very much. But I don't understand it. Nottingham Forest are not a team to underestimate. They had a great signing in the offseason. One of the best players in the Premier League, in my opinion, James Ward-Prowse. But when you have players like that, you bring in obviously former Chelsea winger and Callum Hudson-Odoi. But yeah, honestly, what happened to him? I don't know where he went.
He was on Milan last year. I believe.
Milan, yeah. But why do you underestimate a team like this? And I don't understand why you're not giving. I don't understand why you're not giving Christopher Nkunku more minutes.
Well, I said this when they fired Poch.
Yeah.
I said there is no reason to fire this guy. He's a great manager. Your ownership's the problem, and if you can't see that, I just makes me upset.
Yeah.
Chelsea fires me up because I feel like they just some of the things they do, man. Just they didn't have a sponsor on their shirt for the first so much of
Infinite athlete.
how are you spending that much money and you don't have a sponsor on your shirt?
Corruption. That's what it is.
It's just
I mean, if anything, if you're spending that much money, I'd expect your kit to look like a NASCAR car, just sponsorships all over the place.
And I hate Chelsea as much as the next Englishman, but why do you not play Romeo Lavia more? You spent $50 million on him too. Yeah, surprise, surprise, spending $50 million on a bench player. But why are you still starting Robert Sanchez? Why? Philip Jurgensen is so much better in between the sticks. He's so much better. And they've got 50 players in the squad. What are you going to do with that? You're not going to be able to find the right matchup, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Chelsea's currently sitting in fourth if you just look at the table. But if you look at their fixtures, they got beat up by Man City 2-0. They killed Wolves 6-2. They drew with Crystal Palace. They beat Bournemouth by 1. They beat West Ham by 3. And then 4-2 against Brighton. And then they just drew against Nottingham Forest.
So it's like who have they played?
Their best wins obviously been Brighton, but they've kind of struggled against anyone else that's been worth anything. But Cole Palmer saved them at times. He has 6 goals, 4 assists. He's been the Ferrari in the Ferrari in of a small house's driveway.
Yeah. The picture of the Bugatti and
the Bugatti in the hood, yeah.
Exactly.
And he's been great. Nicholas Jackson's got 4 goals, but he gets a bunch of attempts. But Chelsea, they're top 4 right now. That's not going to end in that way. They could contend for Europe, but I just can't see them continuing this as soon as
8th or 9th.
Yeah, as soon as they start playing more harder teams on their schedule. I think they're against Liverpool next.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
It's an 11:30 kickoff.
Yeah, all right. Then they have Newcastle, then they have United, then they have Arsenal. It's going to start. Yeah, it's going to start getting tough.
I mean, if you look at those fixtures, right? Liverpool should win that game, and if they don't, there's something seriously wrong.
It's in Anfield.
And then against Newcastle, I think that'll be a good game. Newcastle should pull that out. Now, Chelsea, that might be the one that Chelsea might have a chance in.
And Old Trafford, you never know.
You never know. But then Arsenal, that's an easy win for Arsenal.
Arsenal tends to do good in Stamford Bridge as well.
But see,
Like
I don't say that.
in recent history.
I don't say that.
but what baffles me is that your payroll. Look at their payroll. How much money they've spent. You should not be contending for 9th in the table potentially.
Yeah, for the American listeners, it's like the Dodgers. They spend so much money and don't do anything with it. It's just
No, but it's worse. It's like if the
It's pretty
Dodgers
much
had the
worse.
same payroll, but were finishing like middle of the pack
it's
and
like-
being like not barely a wild card team.
it's like if the Dodgers spent the same amount of money but played like the Cardinals,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. I would just say I looked up Todd Bowley. One of the first things I see is Chelsea. I'm
Losing patience.
Chelsea lose patience with $58 million stars Todd Bowley eyes up January deal. Brother, it's October.
Fork found in kitchen, I see.
Yeah. I mean, he's already eyeing the transfer window, and we're still 2 months out. Gotta love it.
Just and again, they're probably going to try to fire the manager again at some point, and
Yeah.
that's not going to work because we've proven that it
Like,
doesn't work.
It's not exactly the manager's problem when you have a $100 million player on your bench that you probably sell right now for $10 million, maybe.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, where's the profit? Where's the opportunity cost?
It's weird.
Too much opportunity cost with that team.
He's not even. He's a self-proclaimed businessman, but this is not how you run a business.
No.
You have to keep in the quality and get out the quantity. You have to. You can't keep quantity. Quantity is going to lose value over time.
If they don't get in trouble with the financial fair play, they're going to end up folding.
If
They're going to go bankrupt.
If they don't get in trouble with financial play, there is no God.
I genuinely don't know how you spend that much. Anyway, we've been talking about Chelsea for a while. It's getting me fired up.
We'll leave Chelsea at that. Final game of this slate: Brighton against Spurs. We will not say what we think of Tottenham, but we all know Tottenham at halftime is up 2-0. Brennan Johnson and James Maddison with the goals, and then Brighton storms back in the second half with a winner from Arsenal legend Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck.
Love to see it.
Oh, this makes me so happy. Oh, we all know where Spurs can go. They can go wherever they want, but they just can't go to the top of the table. Yeah, when you have Timo Werner starting at left winger, yeah, you're not going to do anything. Great signings, obviously, in the offseason with Dominic Solanke headlining that. Obviously, they brought in Brennan Johnson as well. Keeping some of your guys around, obviously, James Maddison has been instrumental to this team. Rodrigo Bentancur has been great. The entire midfield, obviously, Dejan Kulusevski, who Nico knows a little bit about Dejan Kulusevski.
I would just say, but sorry for interrupting, but looking at this Tottenham team, there are 3 former Juventus players: Radu Dragoshin, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Dejan Kulusevski.
Well, that's why the Premier League is the best league in the world.
Bentancur sucks. He was horrible for Juve. I really like Kulusevski, and I think Dragoshin's got a very bright future, but Tottenham still sucks.
Yeah, and Pedro Porro obviously going to give Chelsea nightmares when he sees João Felix. If you know, you know. But this Tottenham back line has been great to start the year. Obviously, they have nothing on Arsenal's back line. I'm just saying. But probably the fastest center back I've ever seen in my life, Mickey van de Ven. This dude is brilliant. He plays like a center attacking midfielder, and he also plays like a center half. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why he's not playing center defensive mid, but there's some players on this team that I really want to see get more minutes, and one of them is someone who I thought was going to be an instrumental signing for them, and that's Jed Spence. Jed Spence is getting no minutes for the Spurs team. Just send him out on loan somewhere. This dude, he's got so much potential. And obviously, you've got guys on the bench, obviously. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know you wanted him too. Yves Bissouma. They just love to poach players, and they love to do nothing with them. It's so frustrating. But, yeah, this Spurs team has been subpar to start the year, and this Brighton team has been absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, they're fighting for Europe at this point, but I think it all comes down to one man, and he's in the midfield, and he is 19 years old. Jack Hinchelwood has been absolutely great for this Brighton team, notching out a 3-2 win against Spurs. Obviously, if you beat Spurs, I like you.
Yeah, and about Brighton, they've been really solid so far. They're in 6th in the league. They're against 7th place Newcastle next week. That's going to be an incredible matchup there. And you just have all these players on Brighton. You have Welbeck always coming up big for him, as he always does. You have Mitoma, who did not score, but everyone knows how good Kairo Mitoma is. You have Carlos Baleba coming over from Lille, and he was a phenomenal signing. I think he has plenty of potential. I watched him plenty with Lille, since Lille's the squad out in France I always rock with. And Carlos Baleba is just going to be really good for this side. And looking at Spurs, like, you have Dominic Solanke, who I believe was a great signing for them. Brennan Johnson scored a goal. Timo Werner, I don't know why he's really starting. I think it would be much better if you put Dejan Kulusevski as a forward and have him up in attack, knowing how good Dejan Kulusevski can be. James Maddison, obviously. James Maddison, always good. But you just look at Spurs, they've just been so mid. Like, they're at 9th currently. That they can compete for Europe still, but they've just consistently, they missed out last year. They've just been consistently mediocre so far, and you just don't know what they can really do. Like, and going to what you said about the Jet Spence, I don't know why if he's not playing, I don't know why he's not on loan. You look at his past, like, after coming in from Nottingham Forest to Tottenham, he got loaned out to Stade Rennais out in France. He did all right over there, could have done better, and then he was sent to Leeds, not too sure. Then he was sent to Genoa in Italy, and you just don't know why that doesn't continue if you're just going to have him sit and rot on the bench like this.
Well, the funny thing about the Spurs is that my 5th grade teacher, massive Spurs fan, makes me feel so happy when they lose. I love seeing them lose just because it has that extra personal connection to it, you know? So, but I mean, now you got to start to question Spurs manager. And I think maybe he starts to be on the hot seat. You're up 2-0 at halftime. How in the world do you give up 3 in the second half? I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, you give a 3 in the second half. Evan Ferguson didn't even play in this game, which is kind of surprising.
Like, I want to know what was said at halftime in the locker room to the players of the Spurs.
Big End probably just said crikey and then just left it at that. Honestly, I mean, there's no fight. Yeah, that get me fired up. Crikey, mate. Yeah.
But I will say, Richard, you said that one of your teachers was a Tottenham fan. My current econ professor is a Tottenham fan.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah. So whenever he, I think when Newcastle beat Tottenham, I went into class the next day and I just smiled the whole time. I was like, yes.
Well, and one of my people that I know really well back home is a United fan, so that me and him will always watch the Liverpool United games together. So that always adds that little extra to those games too.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick look at the table, and then we will preview some of the upcoming games for next week. Looking at the table right now, topping out Liverpool in first place with 18 points. I feel like I'm like on AFTV, Conor.
Yeah.
Manchester City at second with 17. Arsenal at third. Chelsea at fourth. Aston Villa at fifth. Brighton sixth. Newcastle seventh. Fulham eighth. Tottenham ninth. Wonderful. Nottingham Forest mid at 10.
And anybody below that doesn't deserve to be mentioned.
We'll rapid fire 'em. West Ham, Bournemouth, United, Leicester City, Everton, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Wolves. Southampton, Wolves, and Crystal Palace and Ipswich actually have yet to win a game. Lock in. I'd say the team that's probably most likely to win a game might be Ipswich. They play Everton this week.
I see that being a 0-0 draw.
Or actually next week.
Yeah. It's either going to be a thriller or it's going to be one of those like mind-numbing games.
Well, because it's Everton, so it'll probably be a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing them. But loading up the fixtures, if it would load, I would love to get to this. Okay, so actually, I believe this week there are no games. So
That's
yeah,
right,
it's international break this weekend.
Okay, well, with international break, since we don't have any games to preview, we'll talk about Champions League for a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people skipping the international break and faking injuries is what it seems like.
Dusan Vlahovic to be one of them.
Yes, Dusan Vlahovic is one of them. Alejandro Garnacho is one of those.
But when you're making these guys play this many games in a season with the new Champions League format, they have to have some time off. You can't expect them to go all the time, all out, playing 4 games. Liverpool, at the end of this month, at the end of October, play 4 games in like a week.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
It's kind of like how the NFL's going right now. Like, you play so many games, people are just going to get hurt, and it's just unenjoyable at
Like
that
I
point.
feel like that some of the people that are in charge of the biggest leagues in the world need to realize that, hey, the more games we play, yeah, that gives us more money, but it's also going to create more injuries and bad PR.
Yeah. But we will go through this current table. Brand new whole system with Champions League. There are 36 teams in it. So we will go through all of them. Dortmund sitting atop with 6 points, 2-0. Brest at second. Then Benfica, Leverkusen, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Juventus, and Man City rounding out the top 8. Those 8 teams in the top 8 will go straight to the round of 16.
Yeah, hold on. This is the first time I'm seeing this table. Like the first time I've ever looked at it.
It's whack.
What am I looking at?
Yeah, this is very odd. But now these next, however many teams that is, from 9 to 24, will go to knockout phase playoff places. Inter, Sparta Praha, Atalanta, Sporting CP, Arsenal, Monaco, Bayern, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Lille, PSG, Celtic, Club Brugge, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, and PSV rounding out that one. Shocking to me, Sparta Praha. I believe they're Czechoslovakian or Romanian, if I'm not mistaken.
Half of these teams are from
they're
countries
Czech.
like
I want to say they're Czech. Also, Brest, great team. I believe they're French. But it's surprising. Like, a team that I have not really heard much about, second. I mean, good for them. But then rounding out the bottom 12, you have Stuttgart, Bologna, Shakhtar Donetsk, GNK Dynamo, Leipzig, Girona, Sturm Graz, Milan, Cervena Zvezda, Salzburg, Slavia Bratislava, and Young Boys. Not looking great for those teams.
No, it really isn't. And Nico's obviously going to be happy to hear about this one, but AC Milan have been looked absolutely dreadful in the European competition. It's been kind of sad to watch because obviously known American hero Christian Pulisic has been on that team, and he has been absolutely balling for Milan. He's been one of their saving graces alongside Rafael Leao. But I think a surprising team to see so low, obviously, with their recent sort of La Liga success staying and getting in the Champions League is Girona. Girona were great last year, and obviously they lost a few players, but I think seeing Girona this low is a little disappointing. I'll go with 2 teams that have overdone expectations as well as the 2 that I just mentioned that did not meet expectations. Stade de Brest have been absolutely great. They absolutely destroyed, I believe it was RB Salzburg, 4-0. You don't see those every day.
Yeah, you don't see Salzburg lose a game like that very often.
Especially not in the Champions League. They're usually one of those Champions League teams that just squeak out those results.
They have 0 points from 2 games, Salzburg, which is you never see that ever. And even Leipzig too, 0 points from 2 games.
Yeah, it's not looking good for a few of these teams. Obviously, it's a really weird format, not doing group stages. Thanks a lot, money.
Yeah, I don't know if I really like this, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of games.
Yeah, the only reason I'm so familiar with it is because I play Football Manager so frequently, and they always introduce it in the second year. It's horrible.
I can confirm I've seen this man play that at least 4 times in class.
Yeah.
Well, this is making me want to get the new FC 25.
It's not FIFA anymore.
Yeah.
My childhood's gone.
Yeah.
I want to do manager career. Like I haven't done it in like a year since the last game. So.
Should get Football Manager.
Yeah, Football Manager's that without the gaming. Like,
Yeah.
just-
Yeah,
like
but
sim.
I tried it and I thought it was boring.
Yeah, there's so much you can do on it. I'm on my 5th club, and I'm in like 2036 or something like that. I'm with like Southampton.
I've been there, man.
Yeah, I'm with like Southampton now. It's crazy.
Won the quad with Liverpool a couple times.
Hey.
All right, and I want to shout out Lille. Jonathan David scored a penalty to beat Real Madrid last week, and Jonathan David, arguably the best player out of North America. It's either him or Christian Pulisic. It's like those 2 are clearly the best, and like Jonathan David's consistently been scoring all those goals out in France for Lille. He's stayed loyal to them. He's not left just yet, even though there's sort of a rumor mill going around him every single transfer window. Is he going to Chelsea? Is he going to United? He never ends up leaving. He's staying in France.
If he wants his career to die, he'll go to Chelsea.
Literally.
He just stays with Lille, and they're in the Champions League once again. They took a little break after being in there a couple years ago, but they're back in it, and they were able to upset Real Madrid as well. And that's just a great thing for a club in France to do, especially for Lille with that very passionate fan base they have over there. And another team is like Arsenal was able to beat PSG, which is something that was kind of shocking. They don't normally beat PSG, especially in the Champions League, and that's a very it's a statement to show for this team that they're able to go over that hump and beat a team that a lot of past Arsenal teams have struggled with.
Yeah, I remember as a kid watching Jack Wilshere in the Champions League group stage getting absolutely tormented in the midfield. It was horrible because they looked so good in the Premier League, and then they'd go into European competition, and then it would be like watching a completely different side.
And you see that happen more than you would think.
Yeah, it's weird because I thought that's what we were going to see with Villa. That is the exact opposite of what we're seeing with Villa, but I think if United had gotten that spot, we'd be seeing that right now. But this Arsenal team is different from past years. Obviously, I remember, I'm going to go down a trip down memory lane here. The midfield trio of Santi Cazorla, Jack Wilshere, and Aaron Ramsey. Oh, that was a spectacle to
Good old
watch.
Aaron Ramsey. Watch out.
I love Aaron Ramsey. He should have won a Ballon d'Or. Obviously, I'm joking.
Well,
Not.
I would just say, Connor, you being a Phillies fan, Aaron Ramsey and Nick Castellanos, are they the same person?
They might be. They really might be.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people listening know the trope around Nick Castellanos hitting home runs on very tragic days.
Yeah. Aaron Ramsey scores goals on very tragic days.
He does the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
with soccer, with his feet.
Yes, he does it with his feet. And Nick Castellanos does it with a bat, and there's a deep drive to deep left field by Castellanos. It'll be a 4-0 ball game.
Yeah, well, with that, we are just about out of time, but I will say next week, since there are no Premier League games, we'll probably look over international stuff. And then the next time there's Champions League, we will have a separate Champions League episode whenever there's a Champions League window. So I will say keep on the lookout. There might be 2 episodes in 1 week. Might just be 1. Who knows? But with that, that's just about all we got here. I'd like to thank all you guys for being here. Great first episode.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next one and however many more we do in the future. We all got a lot of time, obviously. Connor, me and you are sophomores.
Oh, yeah.
Richard and Cody, you're both freshmen, so we got some time here.
Free time on our hands means we should be in front of a microphone.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. But with that, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for listening to episode 1 of Beyond the Boot.